Ladies and gentlemen, fifth quarter is back at it again. Super Bowl is set. Man, lots of things going on. I took a little bit of a break there. Man, I bet you missed this voice, honestly. I bet you did. And in the famous words of me, let's fade this out here. Man, oh man, I miss being in front of the mic. Honestly, I did. I did a whole bunch. So I wanted to start off with a joke of the day. I think that this is hysterical, in my opinion. News just came out a couple days ago that Shedeur Sanders is a Pro Bowler. Yes, you heard that right. 7 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 1,400 passing yards, and a QB rating of 68.1. And yes, he is selected to a Pro Bowl. I'm being for real. I don't understand this move. I think the Pro Bowl is starting to become a joke now. We'll get into that in just a little bit. But first thing I'm going to say is, why is Trevor Lawrence not the replacement for Drake May? Trevor Lawrence is a MVP candidate, for crying out loud. I don't understand this move. I think it's bogus, man. Absolutely bogus. Trevor Lawrence stats: 4,000 passing yards, 29 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and a rating of 91. And oh yeah, he's an MVP candidate. And his team went to the playoffs. He had a good team. The Jaguars relied on his shoulders, and he played phenomenal football down the stretch. So now we're going to get into the Pro Bowl and the All-Star game in the NBA is starting to become a joke. They have no meaning anymore. They don't even play the real game. It's a popularity contest. I don't like it. Bronny James received an All-Star vote this year. That's how you know that the people are not taking this All-Star game, Pro Bowl, seriously anymore. Shedeur Sanders is in the Pro Bowl. This is unserious work. All pros now mean more than Pro Bowls, in my opinion. They always have, in my opinion, honestly. If you're an All-Pro, I'd rather be an All-Pro than a Pro Bowler. Devin Lloyd is not a Pro Bowler, but he's second team All-Pro. For me, it just seems like if you're going to make the Pro Bowl, you're going to be an All-Pro player, most likely. Tristan Wirfs is a Pro Bowler, but not an All-Pro player. I'm not understanding this movement here of the Pro Bowl selections. I think when people go to vote, they just say, oh, I know this guy. I know Shedeur Sanders. Let me pick him. No. You pick the guys with the best stats. You be as unbiased as possible, in my opinion. I think the Pro Bowl quarterbacks were mostly right. Now that Shedeur Sanders is in there, I don't like it at all. These Pro Bowl All-Star games are starting to become just flat out worthless. There used to be a lot of meaning behind it, as far as, we used to imagine, oh man, imagine if Peyton Manning was throwing to Randy Moss. Things like this, where a superstar plays with a superstar, only existed in the Pro Bowl and the All-Star games. And that's why it was very watchable, because you would see Tom Brady throw to Randy Moss before he went in 2007, and we would say, wow, like, imagine that connection on an actual NFL team. Now these things are achievable nowadays with free agency, and free agency really being so flexible. These players now, they want to play with other superstars. Let's take, for example, Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George wanted to play together on the Clippers, and that has happened. So I look at it, and I'm just like, there's no point in the Pro Bowl and the All-Star game now. It's sad to say that, honestly, because the Pro Bowl and the All-Star game were a celebration of this is how good of a season we're having, and now it's just completely ruined. Another example for basketball. Imagine Kyrie and Luka playing on the same team. We looked at All-Star games. Imagine Kyrie and Luka playing on the same exact team. That was what the All-Star game was for, but now players team up with other players every single year. We see it every single year. So, Pro Bowl All-Star game, there needs to be a change, a revision to it. I'm not liking that Shedeur Sanders has made the Pro Bowl. I don't think the popular vote should just be the flat-out popular vote. I think there has to be some type of actual player consensus on who can make the Pro Bowl. Kind of like All Pro. All Pro is simply the players just voting on who is the best player at this position. And I feel like the All Pros are right for most of the time throughout the year. So yeah, I mean, I like the All Pros a lot, and it's just sad to see the Pro Bowl and the All Star game start to fade away, as for sure. So Super Bowl is set now. Patriots versus Seahawks, repeat of Super Bowl 49. We all know that that popular play there. Probably the best play of the 2010s, to be honest. Malcolm Butler interception after Russell Wilson didn't throw it. That was a very controversial call. You had Marshawn Lynch back there, beast mode, and you didn't throw the football. But now we get a repeat here. We get part 2 of Patriots versus Seahawks in the Super Bowl. And let me give you some of my thoughts on this game, honestly. I expect the Seahawks to curb stomp the Patriots. Yes, you heard it here first. Come back to this episode, and you'll see. Patriots have had the easy road out this year. They haven't played a team to the caliber of the Seahawks, in my opinion. The Seahawks defense is absolutely suffocating. I expect the Seahawks to get a ton of pressures on Drake May. I expect them to target the left side of the line with rookie Will Campbell. I don't see the Patriots putting up any fight in this game. Mike Vrabel has to draw up the scheme of a lifetime for them to have a chance at winning this game. Here's what I see for the Patriots and a way they can win this game is if they can get momentum early by flustering Sam Darnold and forcing him to make bad throws. I think that, if Darnold isn't going to be pressured early in this game, he's just going to get in that flow state. We kind of saw in that Rams game. He got in the flow state early. Fluster Sam Darnold early, and you'll have a better chance at winning that football game. So I think if Darnold doesn't get pressured early, it's going to be a long day for the Patriots. Once Sam Darnold starts to get a few throws off, once he starts to get a little bit of confidence in that game, he's going to be good. He's going to be good. So I don't really see a world where the Patriots are hoisting the Lombardi Trophy at the end. I don't see it. But maybe you guys have a different take on that. I don't know. I think that the Seahawks have been a dominant team throughout the whole season, and they're not going to shy away in this game for sure. The AFC Championship game was definitely something. Jarrett Stidham, he looked good early, but over time throughout the game, had poor decision making the Broncos just, he was a cancer at that point. He led the Broncos to a loss. What was with Stidham and the stupid two-hand passes that he was making? Just illogical. Take the sack and live to fight another down, man. There's no reason why you have to do the stupid two-hand pass. That was the only touchdown of the game that they had, the Patriots, was off that two-hand pass, and it was a backwards pass that led to that touchdown. I think it was Demario Douglas. So Stidham really had it, man. He had it. If Bo Nix was playing that game, they win this. They go on to play in the Super Bowl next week. Sorry. And they couldn't get it done. Sean Payton has a rock for a brain right in that game. Everyone knew watching that game that points were going to be hard to come by. So if you're in field goal range in that game, you take those 3 points in a situation like that. 4th and 1, I think you're on the 20, somewhere in the 20s. You got to take your points there, man. 10-7 final score. If you score that field goal, man, I mean, it changes the momentum of the game when you at least score. I don't know what the whole epidemic is with, let's go for it on 4th down if we're in enemy territory. I don't like it. Sometimes taking your 3 points is still coming out with a W. I don't like it. And I feel like the only time they really kick field goals is, 50-yarder, we'll take it, right? They don't want to take a 31-yarder or a 28-yarder. They don't want to do that anymore. They would rather go for it on a 4th and 1, 4th and 2, than take 3 points. And I don't understand that. Maybe that's the analytics Screw the analytics for that. I don't understand why we base so many things off of analytics nowadays. Sometimes it's just gut feeling. Sean Payton in that Super Bowl out of halftime, I think it was against the Colts, came out and did an onside kick. That is gut feeling, folks. That's gut feeling. That's not, analytics told me. No, get that crap out of here. That was gut feeling by Sean Payton. That was a gutsy call, too. But he made that work for Drew Brees to hoist the Lombardi Trophy at the end. That was a special play call. So, screw analytics, man. Screw analytics. It was a bad play call anyways, in my opinion, on that 4th and 1. It was a bootleg. They could have drew it up better. It was almost intercepted as well. Stidham fumble led the Patriots to the only TD that game. I already went over that. That two-hand pass, that is the one play you look at and you say, man, if we had that play back, if you just took the sack, punt the football away, punt it away. There's no shame in playing the field position game. There's no shame in it. Bo Nix plays that game. They win the Super Bowl. Sean Payton was simply outcoached in this game by Vrabel. One of the lowest scoring conference championships in recent memory, honestly. It was a defensive game. Shout out to the defense in that game, and also the weather had something to impact with it. I mean, man, did you see the pictures on that thing? I mean, in just a quarter, it became a whole snow blizzard in that stadium. So, I mean, and I'm assuming that Sean Payton saw that it was going to be snowing later in the game. And that means that it's going to be harder for offenses to score, especially with a backup quarterback in. You got to take your points, man. Got to take your points. Flipping over to the NFC Championship game, this was a phenomenal game. Played by both sides, honestly. That was your Super Bowl right there, in my opinion. I think that if the Rams won the NFC Championship, I'm taking them over the Patriots as well. Lots of great polished football played in that game. Sam Darnold going toe-to-toe with MVP candidate Matt Stafford. Are you kidding me? Remember this kid in the 2018 draft? Selected by the New York Jets. And he said, I'm seeing ghosts out there. Goes to Carolina. Carolina doesn't want him. Carolina had Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold didn't succeed over there. Played a backup role under a Kyle Shanahan offense. He started to learn. Took a step back, learn the process. Learn how to read defenses under a great coach, under Kyle Shanahan. And now look at him. He went to the Vikings, had a good season with the Vikings, choked in the playoffs. Everybody in the offseason was saying, okay, he can do it in the regular season. Can he do it in the playoffs? And now this year, he's finally doing it. And good for him. It takes a long time to get rid of that Jets scent on you. The Jets is a bad organization to go if you're a rookie QB. Same with Cleveland. I mean, now you look at Sam Darnold, he looks like an MVP candidate as well. What can't the Jets do? Why couldn't the Jets do that with Sam Darnold? I bet all the Jets fans are wondering that. Why can't we win with Sam Darnold? And now Sam Darnold's in the Super Bowl. If I'm a Jets fan, I'd be livid. That Reek Woolen taunting penalty was almost very costly in this game. Gets burned the next play by Puka Nacua for a touchdown. Man, I thought that was going to be a momentum shifter right there. Seahawks were very efficient on third downs in this game. Always moved the chains in that game. I mean, you look at that game. I mean, you can't even say both sides. I mean, the Rams, they did everything they could to win that football game. They didn't really shoot themselves in the foot. The Rams were playing great football, but the Seahawks were playing better football, and that's why they're going to Levi Stadium next week to play in the Super Bowl. Some coaching decisions here. Brian Daboll teamed up with Robert Saleh to go to Tennessee as their OC. I like this move. Daboll has one goal in mind, in my opinion, and if I was Daboll, I'd have one goal in mind too. Develop a talented player in Cam Ward. Cam Ward is a special player, guys. Absolutely special. Down the latter half of the season, he really showed that, hey, I really do this. I do this. Give Ward some better weapons and watch him blossom. Brian Daboll has made Jackson Dart blossom. Now he's going to do the same thing with Cam Ward, in my opinion. Cam Ward is even more talented than Jackson Dart is. So give Daboll and Cam Ward a little bit of time this season, and you'll see the best Tennessee Titans season in the past 3 years, for sure. Mike McCarthy, in that head coach for the Steelers. This move here was very out of left field by the Steelers. He's most likely not going to be a long tenured coach there. And when you look at the Steelers' history, they've only had 3 coaches in their history of the game. So can you get success early with McCarthy? I think that's a big question. If you get success early with McCarthy, that's why he's there. For a now situation. Can he do it now? He doesn't know what quarterback he's going to have. I heard somewhere that he likes Will Howard a lot, and that Will Howard might be the starting guy. I'm not mad at it at all. But how long are you going to sit there and try to develop this kid, right? You want to win now is my problem. You want to win now. You have DK Metcalf. You have a few guys on your team that TikTok on the clock, TJ Watt as well. Like, these guys are slowing down. Like, they're in the prime of their careers right now, but they're going to slow down eventually. So you got to win now. You got to win now. So Mike McCarthy really needs to hone in and figure out who his QB is next year. I don't know if Will Howard's really the move, in my opinion, since I think you need to win now. But we'll see with the Steelers. The Steelers have always been that bridge team where they're not bad, they're not great, but I don't know. McCarthy to the Steelers, man. I don't know. We'll look back on this in 1 year and say, man, what a disaster that was. Gets fired, and then he'll go to another team. But McCarthy to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Joe Brady gets the head coaching job for the Buffalo Bills. Let's see where this offense takes you, right? I think Joe Brady can be a head coach. Let's give Josh Allen some more weapons, though, right? We have the Keon Coleman situation. Cam Newton coming out and saying, talking all that trash about Keon Coleman. I mean, he's right. He's right. He's supposed to be their number 1 receiver, and Khalil Shakir is. He's not even their number 2 receiver. Brandon Cooks was. So Keon Coleman needs to lock in. I still think you need to select more skill players. First round, they should go receiver, in my opinion. But, who am I to say that, right? Time is on the clock for the Bills. When is it going to be the Bills' time to be in the Super Bowl with Josh Allen? Josh Allen's getting older. He's going to hit 30. And based off all that running he's doing, he's not going to be there much longer. So, tick-tock on the clock, Bills. Tick-tock on the clock. Raiders, they should trade the number 1 pick, in my opinion. This might be controversial, but unless the Raiders are completely sold on Fernando Mendoza, I say that they should trade their pick to one team in particular, and this is going to be my offseason move of the year for sure. I think if this does happen, this would be a fantastic move by both sides. The Raiders trade the number 1 pick to the San Francisco 49ers. Let that sink in. Here's my mock trade here. So the Raiders give up their number 1 pick in this draft and a future 3rd rounder. Okay. In return, they get Mac Jones, Brandon Ayuk, and the 49ers 1st rounder this year. Brandon Ayuk doesn't want to be in a 49ers uniform again. Send him to Vegas. He'll like Vegas for sure. Mac Jones wants a starting spot. Mac Jones is your bench QB. Played great in the games that he did play. So I think Mac Jones is really, he can be a franchise QB. But you need to get him in there with a good game plan, right? Good game plan. And I believe Mac Jones could be the answer for the Raiders coming up here, especially pairing him up with Brandon Ayuk and Brock Bowers. That's a good core right there for sure, and Ashton Jeanty as well. I mean, who says no in this situation, right? It's a win-win for both teams. I think the Raiders are, obviously they get their franchise quarterback, a franchise receiver, actually a number one receiver for sure. Brandon Ayuk is a number one receiver, and they still get a first-round pick just later. And for the Niners, they can really go out and get whoever they want to say, this is our guy. This is the piece we needed to really elevate our game. Besides injuries aside, right? The 49ers, they have a good roster, but they're always injured. Always injured. So I look at the Niners, I say, Niners, make this trade here. If it was me and I got the number one pick, I think the best player in the draft, and we'll talk about this in a future episode when it's coming up towards draft time, but best player in the draft is for sure Ruben Bain, in my opinion. Fernando Mendoza's, he's going to be okay. He's not going to be all that great. He's all right. He has a good mental, but Mendoza's he's not a number one pick. He's not worth it. Not worth a number one pick. So, I think the 49ers should really consider this trade here. That would be an insane trade. Ruben Bain and Nick Bosa, just imagine. Who says no? This is a win-win for both teams. Raiders get their QB of the future. Brandon Ayuk, wide receiver 1, still has a first-round pick in this year's draft. Maybe even draft an O-lineman later with that pick for the Raiders. So, something to think about for sure. I had news this afternoon that Todd Monken has became the head coach for the Cleveland Browns. Oh boy. Either Todd Monken's going to be the savior that they needed, or it's going to be another failure. And I'm leaning towards 75% another failure, honestly. That's what I'm leaning towards. So, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it with the Cleveland Browns, at least for the next 10 years, honestly. Bill Belichick, not awarded first ballot Hall of Famer. This is crazy to me. How is this even possible? Regardless of success with Brady, he dials up the best schemes ever. Tom Brady had a lot to do with that success. But can we also look at, for example, the Rams Super Bowl against the Patriots? That was masterclass scheming by Bill Belichick. Low-scoring Super Bowl, very low-scoring Super Bowl, but that was a Bill Belichick Super Bowl for sure. Tom Brady didn't really do too much that game. He won 8 Super Bowls in his career. He's one of the winningest coaches ever. It's a joke. It's a joke. We're going to take a break here. I'll be back. Fifth quarter is back. We'll be back. All right, on to our NBA segment here. All right, so trade deadline has been dead so far. Only made one trade this deadline. So far, actually. Trae Young to the Wizards. This is good for the Wizards, man. Very good for the Wizards. They get the star that they were missing in Trae Young. They have a promising young core, in my opinion. Alex Sarr, Trey Johnson, Bob Carrington, Bilal Kubalali. They have guys on their team, man. I like the guys that they have on their team. They just need a winning player. They need a guy that's done it before, and Trae Young could be that guy for them. I think this trade deadline has been dead for one specific reason, in my opinion. The league is full of talented players this year. Look at the available free agents as of right now. Let's take, for example, players like Malik Beasley should be on teams right now. He was top 5 in three-point makes last year, if I'm not mistaken. So when you look at all this talent that's in the league, there's not really much you could do. Teams' records this year are reflective of how good your superstar player is playing along with your head coach. We look at these teams like the Pistons, Thunder, Celtics, Nuggets, and even the Spurs. These teams, you know, not only have amazing players like Victor Wembanyama, like Kate Cunningham, like Shea, like Jaylen Brown. He's playing amazing right now. And of course, Jokic. These are the faces of the league, but they have a head coach that can run a heliocentric offense correctly. Heliocentric offense basically means that the offense is your superstar and everyone else feeds off of him. Nuggets run this style of offense the best, in my opinion. Jokic, and after that, you have your supporting cast. Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, Peyton Watson. Peyton Watson is playing fantastic basketball right now. But, you have a supporting cast, but the main reason your record reflects how good your coach is with your superstar. And that's my take on that. Without Jokic, the Denver Nuggets are the Brooklyn Nets, in my opinion. They're the Brooklyn Nets without Jokic. I mean, you have your couple good players, but the Brooklyn Nets. The NBA has a unique year going on right now, in my opinion, but it's entertaining, yes, but unique. Trading for a solid piece off the bench isn't really going to magically fix NBA teams this year, in my opinion. If you're going to trade, it better be for that guy. I look at a few teams to make a trade for, that guy. The Heat are the most obvious ones for me. Reports came out, Giannis trade packages are starting to roll in. So the Warriors could go make a move for a guy that, to give Stephen Curry one last shot at that, hey, can we make the finals one last time? Magic could go get a superstar by trading Anthony Davis, in my opinion. I think the Jazz will explore a trade by trading Yusuf Nurkic. He's starting to play phenomenal basketball. Sell him high. Looking at the Magic to trade for a big man and also a better guard off the bench. Kings could look to sell to reshape their roster. And hear this one. I put this one in my notes here. I know Ja Morant has expressed that he wants to stay in Memphis now, but I think the Pacers should be picking up the phone to trade for a superstar player in Ja Morant. I think Ja Morant could be that guy that really turns this season around for them. It's not too late right now, or maybe even a better fit in Karl-Anthony Towns. The rebounding numbers for the Pacers this year are not very good. Karl-Anthony Towns can really come in and inflate those numbers. But when I look at a guy like Ja Morant, if Ja Morant gets traded to the Pacers and you pair him up with Tyrese Halliburton, Ja Morant and Tyrese Halliburton are easily, in my opinion, the best backcourt in the NBA. I like that move, but again, I'm not a Pacers front office guy, so I have no say in it, but if it was a perfect world, I would put Ja on the Pacers for sure. Let's go on to just recency in the NBA. Watch out for the Cavs right now, man. The turnaround is here. Donovan Mitchell the past week has been looking like an MVP candidate. I've always had a special place in my heart for D-Mitch. He's one of my favorite players to cover in the league. I mean, he's always been consistent, even on the Jazz. Now on the Cavs. He's always been fantastic. He stays silent. He plays his game, man. Cavs are on a 4-game win streak right now with the Lakers, Suns, and Trailblazers coming up for them. I see those as wins too. I expect the Cavs to be a 3 seed by the end of the season. The Orlando Magic, they have a problem going on here. Orlando was on a 4-game losing streak after transitioning between wins and losses for the last few weeks. Some people blame Paolo Banchero, and I do too, but I also blame Jamal Mosley. He's not a championship-worthy coach, in my opinion. His offensive scheme is simply bland, and his defensive mind is not really capitalizing this year. He's giving up a lot of points this year by playing bad defense. The rotations are terrible. Jamal Mosley's not the guy. Not the guy, in my opinion. I think the Magic should fire Coach Mosley at the end of the season and go get an established head coach. Does anybody want to give, I'm going to give you guys a few seconds to think about who it is. Nuggets head coach Mike Malone. Mike Malone is the guy for them, in my opinion. He's won a championship with a small market team, and he could do the same thing with the Magic, I believe. Magic have a talented roster. Banchero, Wagner, Bane, Suggs, Black. How are we not winning games consistently here? How are the Magic not winning games consistently? I'm not understanding it. Not understanding it, and I blame Coach Mosley for that. Finally, college basketball is heating up here. I watched UConn versus Providence yesterday, and they extended their winning streak to 16 games, trying to keep pace with undefeated Arizona. As of right now, February is where everything matters for these teams to make one last push for March Madness. March Madness should be exciting this year for sure, due to all the talent this year. Big household names in college basketball: Boozer Twins, AJ DeBansa, Braden Smith, Darren Patterson. The list can go on and on, man. College basketball is going to be exciting coming up. I'm really excited for March Madness. It's honestly, it's the best sporting event of the year for sure. Tomorrow, we'll be having local Daytona State sports news here on the Fifth Quarter podcast. It'll be its own separate episode now, coming out on Thursday. But until then, man, you guys enjoy your sports. Keep scrolling. Watch previous episodes, of course. But once again, I'm back. Everybody's back. We're here Tuesdays and Thursdays on the Fifth Quarter podcast. Everybody, we'll see you tomorrow.